Hi guys, today I wanted to talk to you about postpartum weight loss. My sixth baby is about to turn 1. Oh, I hate that. It goes too fast. She's about to turn 1 in just a couple weeks. And I'm getting very close to a goal weight that I haven't seen in quite a while. I have tried everything postpartum, and so there have been some things that have worked for me, some things that haven't, and so I just thought that I would share with you kind of my history postpartum and then also what has worked for me this time around and I feel is the most sustainable. So after my first baby was born, I bounced right back. I had been really sick during pregnancy, so my net weight gain wasn't super high because I had lost a bunch and then I had gained a moderate amount, and so the difference was pretty small. Plus he was my first baby, and you bounce back. And I remember just thinking like, oh, I must just not be one of those people that like has a hard time with postpartum weight loss, which was such a prideful thing to think. I think it's like a first time mom thing that's typical, like I must not have a body that whatever, when in reality it's just a circumstance of like, well, you've only had one baby. Your body has not, I imagine my uterus is kind of like a balloon that you like blow up and then you let the air out, and so it kind of like shrivels up. It doesn't go back to like the same shape, but the more you blow it up and let it out, like the more lax the balloon material gets. So after 6 babies, it's a lot different than it was after that first one. But after my second baby, things were pretty similar. I had some pretty bad postpartum depression. I lost a lot of weight, like too much. I was like sick. I wasn't eating anything. And so that I wouldn't say was ideal. And then with my third, I feel like that was when it really started to hit me like, I have a normal person body, a body that doesn't just bounce back after pregnancy. But I didn't really know what to do about it. So I remember with him, I think was when I developed my diastasis recti, the separation in between my abs. So not only did I have a hard time losing the weight, but I also had a really round stomach, and I didn't really know what to do about it. So I remember like doing exercises like upstairs in our bathroom. Like I was kind of embarrassed about it, but we didn't have any special equipment. I gave myself tendonitis running on our treadmill, so I couldn't do that. So it was just like weightlifting and stuff, and it didn't really seem to help. So then I got pregnant with my fourth, and after her, my health crashed. Everything went haywire. I not only didn't lose the baby weight, but I started gaining a lot. I gained all my pregnancy weight back and then some while I was breastfeeding, and it wouldn't come off. And I was exercising like crazy. I think at that point I was going like 6 days a week, boot camp. I was doing like spin classes. It was all like heavy cardio. It should have melted weight away, but it didn't. It actually made me gain weight, and I was exhausted because I had a baby nursing through the night, and then I would get up at like 5 to go to boot camp, and then I would wear myself out at boot camp, and then I'd come home and I'd be so hungry because I was exercising so heavily and breastfeeding that I would eat way more calories than I probably should have, and it was just this horrible cycle. At the same time, my thyroid crashed, my adrenals crashed. Those can both have an impact on whether or not you can lose weight very easily. And so it wasn't just my stomach anymore, which was still big from the diastasis, but it was also actual poundage that I could not get off, and I was depressed, and I just like loathed myself. It was not only a weight thing, but a body image thing that I was dealing with. It was really negative and dark. And a little over a year after she was born, I decided to do a Whole30. I had sought some doctors' help. They didn't help me with my thyroid. They didn't help me with my adrenals. They didn't help me with my hormone imbalance. So I kind of figured out that I was on my own to do it because nobody would help me. And so I started doing some reading on treating my adrenals and my thyroid well. I did a Whole30, and it was the first time in over a year that I had lost any weight. I lost 2 pounds in 30 days, and it felt like such a win. At that point, I got pregnant again with my fifth, who ended up being my biggest baby, so I gained the most weight with him. He was 9 pounds, 11 ounces, I think. So then after he was born, I had a diastasis pretty badly. because those muscles had already separated multiple times, but then he was such a big baby. And then because I had gained more weight with him, I had to figure out how to get it off. So I was running. I did a couch to 5K. That kind of helped a little bit. I closed my diastasis with some exercises called Ab Rehab. I think it's like a $32 DVD. It really wasn't bad for some of the programs that are out there. Some of them are really pricey. So I can leave that link in the comment box, and also a link to the blog series that I did about closing that. It was really helpful for me. So if you're looking at that, if you've got a round belly and you're trying to lose weight, part of it might not actually be like fat storage. It might be that your abs are separating, and so there's no structure and support around your midsection, and so it can kind of cause you to like collapse a little bit. Because if you think of those like coin purses that we had when we were little, those rubber ones that you would like squeeze the middle and that's how they would open up. When you have a diastasis, it's like squeezing those coin purses so that they open, and so all the stuff inside is kind of pushing forward and nothing is kind of holding everything back. So I'll post the link to those blog posts. But I still didn't feel, after Rocco, my fifth, was born, I didn't get down to my goal weight before I got pregnant again. And I was feeling so frustrated because other than my first baby, it had been years and years and years since I had healthfully seen a healthy for me weight. And I had pursued it in a lot of unhealthy ways and still never even got it. So I was like, well, what's the point of being super unhealthy about this if it's not even getting me to my goal? Not that even if it did, that would be the best strategy. But I continued to read. I had some health issues during my pregnancy with my sixth that caused me to look into an eating lifestyle, not a diet plan, but a lifestyle called Trim Healthy Mama. It's kind of a big deal in mom circles, especially moms with large families. It seems like this seems to be a pretty sustainable way of eating, even when you're cooking for family, and even when you've sustained more than one cycle of pregnancy, post-pregnancy, pregnancy, post-pregnancy. So essentially what it is the goal is to balance your blood sugar. So you eat every 3 hours, you eat carbs in healthy amounts and only healthy carbs that aren't going to spike your blood sugar. So they're low glycemic carbs, and you pair those with protein. In other meals, you don't really eat very many carbs. You eat fat paired with protein. And keeping your fuels, your carbs and your fat separate tends to also stimulate weight loss. So the weight loss is kind of a secondary effect of balancing your blood sugar. But other secondary effects of balancing your blood sugar are that your hormones are balanced. So I have not had horrible emotional swings postpartum. My postpartum healing season was incredible. I didn't have baby blues. I wasn't weepy. Maybe this is TMI, but I started my period a couple days ago. I had no idea it was even coming. I didn't get PMS. I wasn't crampy. I didn't have headaches. I didn't feel bloated. Balancing your blood sugar so that you don't have this constant insulin reaction of like tons of insulin, no insulin, tons of insulin, no insulin. Insulin is a hormone. So not only does it balance that hormone reaction, but it also balances your sex hormones. So you start feeling better in that regard. A lot of people who do Trim Healthy Mama see alleviation from things like PCOS, heavy periods, things like that. Another thing it does is it nourishes your thyroid, which your thyroid kind of dictates all of your metabolic processes. So weight can be heavily determined by your thyroid, but when your insulin is steady, your thyroid is allowed to work, and it's very healing and very nourishing to your thyroid. So a lot of that sticky weight gain that just won't come off, if you're nourishing your thyroid, it starts to melt off. So another thing with the thyroid is fats. Healthy fats are really good for it. Salt, uniodized, like natural sea salt, very good for it. Vitamin C is also good for your adrenals and your thyroid, but gluten is really hard on it. So if that's something you think you're dealing with, I'd cut out the gluten. And then also with Trim Healthy Mama, your adrenals, when your blood sugar isn't like in panic mode all the time, your adrenals can kind of rest. So one thing that I was noticing after my fourth was born and everything was crazy was I had this like panic response to everything. A kid would say like, "Mom," from the other room, and my adrenaline would just shoot through the roof and my heart would get going and I would panic and I'd be like, "What?" I was like irritable. I was on edge all the time. And I have found that eating in a way that kind of keeps my blood sugar steady allows my adrenals to determine if something is a panic situation or not. So, all that to say, the main goal of Trim Healthy Mama is to balance your insulin response. It's to balance your blood sugar. Once you do that, the rest of it kind of falls into place, including pretty rapid weight loss. So, it has been, I did not start trying to lose weight until 6 months postpartum. I have found, after all of my trial and lots of error, to push your body too hard in those postpartum days not only doesn't speed up getting back to normal, but it actually delays it. It damages your body. It can cause injury. That relaxin hormone is still in your system. So you risk prolapse, you risk diastasis, you just risk a lot of injury. You risk hormone imbalance because your body is trying to do too much at once. You risk lowering your milk supply. I honestly don't know how I nursed as long as I did with my fourth when I was pushing so hard with the exercise, because it can really hurt your milk supply, and I've always had issues with my milk supply anyway. And so I don't do anything before 6 months. I just allow my body to be what it is. I eat healthfully, but I don't exercise. I don't diet. I don't try to lose weight. So with Trim Healthy Mama, there are weight loss strategies and then weight maintenance strategies where you do pair your fuels, but in moderate amounts. So carbs, fats, and proteins at a single meal, but it's still very strategic. So I have found that in the past 6 months, from the time that I started focusing on trying to lose the weight, and I've been very patient with it, and some weeks have been better than others, but it's been a goal of mine. I have actually lost more weight than I have during any other time of trying, and I'm not exercising, I'm not panicking, I'm not dieting, I'm never hungry, I'm eating when I'm hungry. I very rarely feel hungry before I eat. I'm just on kind of a 3-hour eating schedule. I'm not counting calories, and I weigh less now than I did in high school. And so I have found that this is a really, really simple way to achieve the weight loss that I've wanted, but not just the weight loss. Like, it promotes health and it promotes healing, and I don't have to kill myself in order to do it. And so I would really highly recommend it if you're feeling any of this stuff. If you're feeling like your thyroid is sluggish, which is very typical postpartum, some signs of that would be thinning hair, an inability to kind of keep your body temperature regulated. Constipation is one, irritability, weight gain, unexplained weight gain, all kinds of stuff, exhaustion, all kinds of stuff that they'll tell you is just being postpartum when it doesn't have to be that way. If you're experiencing any of that, you could probably benefit from Trim Healthy Mama to just kind of nourish your thyroid, and I think you'll be surprised at how much better you'll feel. Blood sugar balance, you won't be craving carbs all the time. An insulin response, you load up on the carbs and the sugars, and then your body pumps out a bunch of insulin, and then you crash, and then in order to feel energized again, you have to eat a bunch of carbs, and it's just this horrible cycle. Trim Healthy Mama has helped me kick a very severe sugar addiction, and I'm not carb cravey anymore. I don't feel addicted to that stuff. So all that to say, I would highly recommend it for all of that stuff. For hormone balance, your period is heavy or irregular or very painful, if it comes with a lot of mood swings, you can really help your hormone balance with this. So weight loss is important. We want to take care of our bodies, but I just feel like this is such a God-given way to respect why we're still hanging on to the weight. Some of it is just being postpartum and you have to be patient. You can't panic. But some of it is that the other systems in your body, which functions as a whole, they just need a little bit of help. So you can give them help with something like Trim Healthy Mama. So I've kind of given you the main gist, but I would really recommend the Trim Healthy Mama Plan book. They have a couple of cookbooks. There are recipes all over Pinterest. And at any point, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to share more. I'll post some helpful start guides and things like that in the box below. But yeah, if I'm estimating, I would say I've probably lost close to 25 pounds in the last 6 months, probably maybe 20 pounds in the last 6 months without exercising, without dieting and feeling hungry, without counting calories, without a sense of panic, like, oh my word, I have to do this. It's been very restful, very healing, and I would highly recommend it. So if you're struggling through any of this stuff, please let me know, and I would love to chat through all of it more with you if you have any questions. So, all right, I hope that was helpful. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to click down below the little thumbs up to like it. Click up here to subscribe to my channel so you never miss another video, and click right over here to view more videos like it.